Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who are tuning to these videos. In this video, I wanted to go into 2nd Esdras, where Yahweh Shai is crowning the elect, because that's what we're striving for and hoping for, putting on, therefore, the elect of the Most High and beloved bowels of mercies, so that we can receive the sheer mercies of David, because we want to be delivered out of this situation that we're in, so that we can be the first fruits of the kingdom, so that we could experience life, so we could experience the promises and blessings that were spoken to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And when we're going through all these things right now, we don't really consider them, because mainly what's on our mind is the kingdom of heaven. We're putting on, therefore, the elect, and meditating on the kingdom, meditating on the things that Yahweh Shai is going to bestow us when we are delivered. It's in his good pleasure to give us the kingdom. And so that's what we have in our mind. We have the faith that Yahweh Shai is going to return and deliver us, and we should receive crowns for all the work that we've done. And so I want to start off, in 2nd Ezra 2, starting at verse 42. It reads, I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount of Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. And that's something that you should want. That's something that you should meditate for all the things that we're doing down here. This is the prize right here. And you should want to be a part of this graduation. And continuing on, verse 43, and in the midst of them there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. And that person, taller than all the rest, is Yahweh Shai, because he's the main one that's going to deliver us, and is the main reason why we are doing what we're doing down here, preaching and prophesying in his name. And for that valiant work, he's going to set crowns on our heads. So that's why you see there's not really a whole bunch of people coming and flocking to this word. Only the elect have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. The hopeful elect are the ones who are standing stiffly for his name, as it's going to get into. So continuing on in verse 44, it says, So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned, and receive palms. And that putting off the mortal and putting on the immortal is receiving Yahweh Shai, being baptized by the word, and then meditating on the kingdom. So now we're not carried away with the cares and the affairs of this world. We want this place to be destroyed, ultimately fulfilling the prophecies that Daniel even saw in his visions, that this statue of Babylon is destroyed, and that the monument Yahweh Shai is established, so that we can rule for all eternity and have crowns on our heads even. So this is a very heavy thing, and only the hopeful elect. That's why, like, many are crowned by Yahweh Shai in his vision, but it's really a party of 144,000 elect members of the nation of Israel. And some of those who have worked with us in this ministry have given up the spirit, passed away, so to speak, and we know and understand that their works do follow. And so with that, you can't even defeat us, because if we continue to strive for the truth unto death, the Lord will fight for us. And if we do give up the spirit, the fact that we worked in this ministry, we put off our mortal clothing, we've sold everything and given to the ministry, then Yahweh Shai is going to see us favorably. And that's what we're seeking for. So I'm going to read from verse 45 again. It says, He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned, and receive palms. And that's what we're doing with these videos and going out to the highways and hedges, confessing the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So that name is nothing to play around with. This doctrine is nothing to play around with. This faith is nothing to play around with, because you can see with this faith literally moves mountains. So I'm going to continue on. Verse 46 says, Then said I unto the angel, What young person is that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? In verse 47, so he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the names of the Lord. And so what we're doing right now is pretty much the same situation that Noah was doing. He was the only righteous person who was delivered from the flood. And so now you got the 144,000 doing the exact same thing. As all these other people are given into marriage and wine, drinking, whatever it is that this world has to offer, the elect are standing stiffly for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai's name and instigating things, because this place ain't it. This place is not ruled with Yahweh Shai in mind. Every knee should be bowing. And so that's why when we see all the wickedness that's happening in this world, we want to stand stiffly for his name, because a lot of unrighteous decrees are being put out. That's part of being of the elect. It's part of wanting that crown on your head, is because you know better that this place should be ran with righteous ordership, with righteous rulership. And right now, we don't have any rulership in this world per se, because we know and understand this is Esau's rulership, and that we're going to receive a kingdom to come wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's where we're going to rest. Because right now we're vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. So I'm going to read this in Isaiah 62. And let me see. I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, and give him no rest, till he establish and till he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. And that's what we're doing. We're not giving him rest. We're praising and praying constantly. So, and like it says, give him no rest till he establish, until he makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. So we're not going to stop this thing that we're doing until the prophecies are fulfilled. And then when we measure the times diligently, as watchmen, the prior precept says, we're seeing all these things happen and we're rejoicing in the Spirit. We know that it's only showing that the prophecies are being made manifest, the scriptures are right, that we're right when we're speaking in Yahweh Shai's name, and that this place only has but a short time, and then righteousness is about to rule. That's what we want to be right in the sight of the Lord right now, while all this shit is happening, so that when he returns, it's going to be very easy for the angels to deliver the elect, which they already know through the foundation of the world when the world was created, who was going to be delivered in those times. But we still have to play it out. We still have to have that in our mindset that we want deliverance, because it says here that those men who are being crowned, they're going to stand stiffly for Yahweh Shai's name. We're not going to give him rest until he establishes and makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. I can continue on. Verse 8 says, The Lord hath sworn by his right hand, and by the arm of his strength, surely I will no more give thy corn to be meat, for thine enemies and the sons of the strangers shall not drink thy wine, for the which thou hast labored. But they have gathered it shall eat it and praise the Lord, and they that have brought it together shall drink it in the course of my holiness. And we're going to rejoice, because we are putting our riches in the kingdom of heaven, basically a spiritual bank account. All the righteous ceremonies and rehearsing acts is beautiful in the sight of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So it's easier for him to sift down here, just like in Ezekiel, when in Ezekiel 9, when he was prophesying to the people, those who heard or forbeared, they were being marked by the angels. And so right now, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is sending the angels down here, and he's seeing who's standing stiffly for his name, who's sighing and crying for all the abominations that are done down here, who actually wants the kingdom to be established. And you can find that amongst the nation of Israel, the elect, those who are standing stiffly on the highways and hedges, week in and week out. by process of elimination, someone has to be delivered. And the only people who are speaking these things is of the hopeful elect, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All these other people in the world, they're going to die because they're not speaking in prophecy. They're not speaking in doctrine. And when all these things happen, like wars, rumors of wars, the MOTB, we rejoice because we're measuring the times diligently. And now we know that our salvation is nearer than we believe. So that all the things, all the spiritual bank account, that investment that we're doing, it's going to pay off. So I'm going to read this here in Amos 9:11. It says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David, that is fallen and closed up, the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old." And so just as the tabernacles of David was established back in the day in the book of Samuel, that's going to happen again. You're seeing it, you're witnessing it right now. Because through the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, we are now becoming that third temple. We're becoming the monument, the rulership, the government of the kingdom to come. If so long as we endure, so long as if we do what we need to do and stand stiffly for Yahweh Shai's name, then we're going to receive that consolation prize. So continuing on in verse 12, because this is going into just more of the benefits of it. Because as we're down here, we have no control of what's going on. But when Yahweh Shai does return, because we have faith that that's going to happen, then we're going to see and benefit from the glories of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai for standing stiff before his name. So we're basically going to be the first ones to establish order down here on the earth. And that's going to be a beautiful time. That's why you want to have that in your mind, meditating upon it daily. So in verse 12 it says, "That they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord, that doeth this. Behold, the days cometh, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes of him that soweth seed. And the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make gardens and eat fruit of them." So we're actually going to rejoice. We're going to benefit by being Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai's elect. So these promises are going to be established. Once Yahweh Shai returns, he gathers his elect who are standing still before his name. Because of amongst those hopeful elect, that's what we meditate on. We meditate that we have the Edomites under our thumb. We meditate that we have houses that are built for us. We have meditating about the heathens, and no one else is speaking about these things. Only of the hopeful elect do you hear that conversation. So read this last precept. This is in Isaiah 10:22. "For though my people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness." And that starts with the elect, those who are standing stiffly for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai's names. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rachak Kodash. Shalom Akim.